The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 14th day of October 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindos, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we're able to pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamal Hartman, and we'll have Maya Palacio with a news break in a bit. How's everyone feeling today? Happy Tuesday to you. The second day of the traditional work week. Hopefully everyone's week has got off to a great start, and we are about to have a great second day on the Daily Hour. I think we've got a lot to discuss. Folks, do you have any like rituals or anything you do on Mondays? Like, I know some people say they try to avoid having meetings on Mondays because they're just getting back to work. But is there something that you do on a Monday to get ready for the traditional work week? I've never had it because I know Monday is traditionally the start, but I really start my weeks on Sundays and doing show prep and get ready for meetings and so on. And then short work day on Friday. But mentally, when you love what you do, probably that's the difference in getting ready, and treating Monday is a bit different. But if you have anything special you do to get yourself pumped and ready for the new week, let us know. But greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Justin Tavares back on from Bermuda Pest Control. Yes, we are welcoming them back on, and as a new partner, we're going to be discussing some things you can do to deal with seasonal pests. Yes, I just had one right before we came live. You know, one of these things. I thought I ate all my bananas, but decided to fly in here, be on the light, so I had to take him out. Yeah, I had to take him out just now. So I've already started my seasonal pest issues. The daily plate is a remember when. It's a remember when. So Bermudians seem to have a great interest in U.S. politics. So yeah, that's your hint. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, let's get to it this morning. We've got something very important to discuss. But question of the morning: if you had the power to fix one problem in Bermuda today, what would it be? And what's the first step you take to make that change happen? Also, what is your top concern in Bermuda right now? We're all so different. So many different things impact us. And we'll go through a few things. So let's just consider what concerns us most. Now, there are some issues that we hone in on, right? So when you think of top issues impacting Bermuda today, obviously cost of living, right? Bermuda consistently, Tiffany Painter spoke about it yesterday, ranks as one of the most expensive places to live in the world. Groceries, electricity, rent, healthcare, and education costs are rising faster than wages, right? Back in the day, you made $90,000 in Bermuda, you were living well. Now, that doesn't get you far. Many working families are struggling to make ends meet. Some are leaving the island for more affordable lives abroad. That's one thing, right? If you had the power, what would you do to fix that? Housing and land access, right? High property prices and limited rental stock have created a housing crisis, especially for young Bermudians. You know, we've got the apartment rentals and Airbnb, right? There's kind of investments driving up prices. Then we've got crime and community safety. Recent gun violence and youth crime have shaken the public's confidence, right? Calls are growing for community action, stronger policing, investment in youth programs. Then we've got the employment and economic opportunities, right? Uh, Tourism and international business remain the key sectors. Diversifying has been slow. Young Bermudians feeling limited in career growth. Many trained professionals are moving overseas. Our education system, right? Concerns over public school performance, teacher shortages, and reform delays. I got word from someone in education. I'm not sure how true, but I'm going to repeat it because I got word, not because it's true, but because I heard, and we will verify whether it's true or not in coming days. But it's been said that it's actually now fact that we have more students in private school than public. And parents are increasingly turning to private schools, widening inequality. So education system, our healthcare, access and affordability. The system faces high premiums and limited local options for specialized care. Elderly residents and low-income families struggle, most with rising medical costs. Another concern, trust in leadership and governance. Many Bermudians continue to express fatigue and frustration with politics. They feel decisions are made without transparency or results. And yes, the government is putting more of these things out for community feedback, but people want to feel like they're actually listening and not just doing this to tick boxes. There's still this thing where people feel like there's corruption that takes place in government. Another thing that concerns people is cultural identity and community spirit. Amid economic strain, some feel Bermuda's cultural pride, unity, neighborly care, and volunteerism is fading. We spoke about cop match and gun bays yesterday, and community programs remain in bright spots, but need more support in youth development, not exploitation and commercialization. So with all that said, audience, this is on you. This show is on you. If you had the power to fix one of those problems or another in Bermuda today, if you had the power to fix our cost of living crisis, our housing and land access, the crime and community safety issue, the employment and economic opportunity issue, the education system, healthcare, our leadership and governance. If you had the power, if you were the government, how would you go about doing it? What would you do? And also, what is your top concern in Bermuda right now? What is something that you are bothered by or you find as an issue? What's your top concern? Kenton Trott says, good morning, TDH family. My biggest concern is our young people, the trauma they are dealing with, the lack of opportunity, the desire of many to leave and not come back, the feeling of hopelessness. It is unfortunate. You've got people who've left Bermuda for better opportunities just for their children, not even themselves. And some of these children may visit Bermuda in the summer. Some may not visit at all. But we are definitely losing a lot of people due to a lack of hope that they feel they have, lack of opportunity they have in Bermuda. And the trauma, there is trauma, undealt with trauma. I appreciate that, Canton Trot. But audience, let us know. This is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. What is your top concern in Bermuda right now? Is it education? Is it crime? Is it the cost of living? Is it healthcare? What is your top concern in Bermuda today? And how would you go about fixing it? How would you go about fixing that which is your top concern? I, I think people, when we had the recent town hall with the Bermuda Police Service, the governor, and the minister, it showed me how far apart we are as a community as it relates to solving the crime problem. You had some who wanted to address the root causes and take a holistic approach, and others who just looked at addressing the symptoms. Oh, open this prison back up, or do this to them, or do that to them. What are we doing to prevent people even turning to that? Cost of living's a tricky one in Bermuda. It's a tricky one. The government has, they believe that minimum wage, which leads to living wage, is part of that process. I've said with the minister in the House on the daily hour, I don't see how that works. This question's a hard question to answer, because I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you why I think a lot of us don't know what to say. Because truthfully, if we had the power to fix the problem, it sounds good, but I think if it were that easy, some of the things that we think would have actually been done. I'm not sure who said it, but someone came on a daily hour, and it might have been someone in the comments. But these problems that Bermuda faces didn't start overnight. And they're not going to be solved overnight. So again, audience, asking you, if you had the power to fix one problem in Bermuda today, what would it be? And what's the first step you take to make that change happen? But also, what is your top concern in Bermuda right now? Winston Godwin says, is education, crime, and trauma all linked together? I think it is. And it's interesting you ask that, because I think education is the root to it all, right? Or at least one of the root causes. What are we being taught? Why are we being taught? And how are we being taught it? Yeah. There's a lot of undealt with trauma. And I don't think we all agree with what trauma is, right? And how historically there's more trauma in certain spaces due to disadvantaged situations that different groups were put into, which is something we ignore as well, right? But I think that's a valid question, Winston Godwin. Charles H. Jeffers II says, my biggest concern in Bermuda is our leadership in the public and private sector. All other issues won't be solved unless we have leaders who are humble enough to listen to the people. I don't disagree. We do lack humility throughout our community. And, it's the leaders, whether appointed or elected or promoted, who carry a great responsibility in shaping our community. Michael Daniels says the concerns that you have outlined are not specific to Bermuda, so we need to look at a broader scope than what is here on our island. Forget what I've outlined. I'm asking you, Michael Daniels, what are your concerns? I just threw up some things that impact in Bermuda. I don't care if they're impacting other places. I'm speaking about impact in Bermuda. What are your concerns? You mentioned we need to look at a broader scope. What is the broader scope? You tell us. This is a conversation. Kenton Trott says, our main priority should be the young people. If we all pour into them in every way possible, we will see a difference. Yes, many of us do. but more resources, funding, support is needed. All right. James Burgess says, good morning to the Daily Hour team. I'm listening to the show with the government trying to lower the prices here and go up on something else. I think what he's saying is that if sometimes they will lower the prices in one area and then we'll have to make it up and pay in another area. It's kind of like that whole casino thing. The house always wins. But again, audience, what's your top concern in Bermuda right now? And if you had the power to fix one problem in Bermuda today, what would it be? And what's the first step you take to make that change or those changes happen? What would you do? Again, some of the things that I went through earlier: cost of living crisis that's impacting Bermuda, the housing situation impacting Bermuda, the crime, recent gun violence, the employment opportunities for Bermudians, education system, healthcare, trust in leadership and governance. There's some concerns that people have spoken about on this show for a number of years now. We've spoken about them. I don't think we've reached a resolution or a place where we can agree that, you know what, we have to address this. We have to fix this. And this is what we're going to do. Look, everyone's different. Everyone's at different places in their journey. Some people may feel they're not impacted by education because they don't have children in the system. Well, if you're blessed or lucky to live long enough, there's children in that system are the ones that'll be taken care of, So it does impact everyone. Regardless of whether, you own a home and don't have to worry about the housing crisis. Look, again, you own that home today, you might want to retire. The cost to keep your house up and renovate, and you know how damp homes in Bermuda get. Money runs out. So I think this really, really does. I don't want anyone feeling like none of these issues impact them. They all impact us, no matter how good we think we have it today. These issues impact all of us. Manuela Jones says, the trauma may start from the home. Children, youth internalize that trauma, some of which they should not have to. I think trauma is generational, some of it. And what I mean by that is, Rashida Godwin, Titan Express, they do tours. Winston and Rashida Godwin and their team do a great job of telling stories. And one of the stories that you always hear, and we don't address it, like even in our comments on the show, we wouldn't say it, but it's something where when slavery was ended, how slave owners were paid and the enslaved were not, right? Trauma starts from there, or prior to that, in terms of how people were treated. Like when we speak about physically punishing children, like giving people spanks or licks, like we don't understand the connection to why that was seen as a form of discipline. And I'm not telling people not to hit their children or whatnot. They're your children. That's between you and the law, right? But we don't understand that how that trauma, historically has come through generations. We often don't speak about this part of trauma as well. When IB came to Bermuda, and you had people who, well, the prices started going up, and some parents had to go get a second or third job, and children were being left to themselves. And it was not always a single parent home. Sometimes both parents had to go out and work second jobs, right? So some of the women who never traditionally worked as much had to go out, and so their children were left to themselves. That's trauma, not being able to have time with your parents. And it's not just about homework, but it's about building a relationship with your child through doing homework and stuff with them. So I don't think we consider all of this stuff when we talk about trauma, and I think we should. It's a big difference between having a father in a home and a present father. Someone said it on this show recently, right? There are a lot of fathers in homes, but still children with no fathers because they're not present. There's so many things that lead to trauma, folks. There's so many things, and we've got to understand that again, we're all at different places in our journey. We're all at different places in our journey. But just because we're at different places in our journey doesn't mean we're not going to be impacted or affected by some of the changes, things that's going on. Oh my goodness, Renee, you guys have got to keep your comments short. This is your full comments not even coming out, so I'm not sure if I should read this if I'm not able to see the entire thing. But you got to keep your comments shorter, guys, in order for us to be able to read your comments on screen. But this was your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. We're going to show them some love. Then we'll bring Maya in for the Daily Hour News Break. And folks, Pest. Yeah, Justin's back to talk to us. What we need to do. Yeah. Because I used to live in Florida, so I still follow some Florida pages. So they got Florida memes I follow. So people in Florida are celebrating, getting cooler because they're celebrating the death of roaches. No, seriously, this is a Florida memes page. They were celebrating the death of roaches, saying, "Oh yeah, you suckers, it's over for you. It's our turn to shine." But it got me thinking. Just because the roaches are gone doesn't mean that there's not other little critters that are around. So Justin's going to come on and he's going to talk to us about that, and really help us keep our homes pest free. All right. But before that, let's show some love to Titan Express and Secure for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
All righty, folks, let's bring in Maya Palacio for your Daily Hour News Break.
Good morning, good morning.
Greetings, MP. How are you?
Feeling pretty good this morning, as normal, pretty much. Yeah, feeling pretty good, thankfully. How about you?
Well, I can't say too much. I'm just drinking my drink and, trying to figure out what concerns folks the most. What concerns you most?
In Bermuda right now?
Yeah.
Thinking about it in the back there, but honestly, it's just so much to touch on.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if that's how everyone else feels in the comments, it's like, what is the one thing that concerns you the most? There's so many things like jumbled up inside that we can touch on in an hour, So I can't really say what concerns me the most. I think I'll go with culture right now, or even the lack of accountability within our own communities, like our own silos of communities, whether it be our families or friends, that I think has now dispersed into more of a cultural thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're not doing what we need to do in our own little small pockets, checking on who we need to check on. And I feel like that's been a detrimental thing. Like people are now seeking, not now, but I've always, but it feels a lot more now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's yeah, you're right. I mean, it's hard to put it on one, but I think if we and everyone, like I said, is at different places in their journey,
Mm-hmm.
That's the hard part, but hopefully we can tackle some of these issues that we're aligned in, and just have a better Bermuda tomorrow.
Yeah. Have a better Bermuda tomorrow. That's a good line to have in the head. I'll think about that later on. Have a better Bermuda tomorrow. All right, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. This is your Daily Hour News Break brought to you by the good people at People's Pharmacy. Again, we know it's flu season. Make sure you head to them for everything that you need in order to prepare, or even make sure things don't happen, and get preventative measures to stay on top of any cold and flu seasons this season that's coming along. All right, so heading into our news break right now, there was a serious road collision that happened over the weekend that we want to mention for you guys here. So this occurred around 11:55 a.m. on Saturday, October the 11th. It appears that a car driven in the westbound lane of Harbor Road crossed into the opposite lane and struck a wall, ending up in the ocean below. So police report that the driver, understood to be a 38-year-old work woman, as well as 2 children passengers, were in the vehicle. They were rescued by other members of the public in the area at the time. Now, the Bermuda Police Service commends the actions of those who came to the aid of the driver and the children involved. Following the collision, the occupants of the vehicle were medically assessed at the hospital and discharged later Saturday afternoon. Inquiries continue, though, regarding the circumstances of this collision, and any witnesses are encouraged to contact BPS Constable Saber at the earliest opportunity by calling 211.
Last year we had quite a few vehicles that went overboard on harbor. Well, first off, I'm grateful to hear that everyone's safe. But last year we had quite a few. I remember we were numbering them, right? The taxi, few cars, and this year, I think that's the first one that my memory serves. I'm saying that because between last year and this year, tell me if I'm wrong, audience, but I don't remember vehicles going overboard on Harbor Road before last year. I don't. Last year, it just started to be a thing. And I guess my question is, what is leading to this? Right now, we've had discussions years ago, Maya. I mean, at least 2 years ago, we started having a conversation about Harbor Road, like during rush hour, making it HOV and all that. And I see all these people on social media now talking about that. Man, I'm gonna act like Daily Hour started all these conversations. That's right. I'm gonna be that guy. But this happened Saturday at 11. Most of the other ones happened on weekends. If I remember, my memory serves me correctly. If you go back, audience, these happened on weekends. What is happening? Because I don't want to put it down just to speed. I don't know that to be fact. And if you know Bermudian cab drivers, no disrespect, but it's not really pedal on the metal, or you know what I mean. So I wonder if we can find out what investigations are showing has led to this. Is it distracted driving? Is it? I don't know. I'd like to know. I don't want to assume.
We could definitely do some digging. I could look up to see like the accidents that have happened on Harbor Road and why that is. I mean, we all know it's a very narrow road, and again, yeah, there are a lot of Bermudian commentary about like don't drive on it if you're not an expert driver, things of that nature. But let's do some digging, and we'll come back to you with that information about like the amount that has happened on Harbor Road and which have led into the ocean. I know I've seen a lot of like hitting the poles, or like again, the roads are so narrow, or people are going at it at a speed. We've seen those videos. So let's do some actual digging and see what we find, because I do recall even trying to come up with like, well, even all the road fatalities that happened on the island, which had the most. So it's bound time for an update on that when the end of the year comes, so we can dig into like, oh, what parish had the most accidents and what parish had similar accidents happening at the same point. Like, is there something that can be done with that piece of road there that may be leading to causing accidents? All right, so we'll do that for you.
Okay.
All right. In your other news break here, in other news, when it comes to missing persons, 15-year-old Jador Wilson is still missing. Now, we have kept you updated about Jador in nearly every news break that I presented. The latest was a press conference from her mother yesterday at the Bermuda police station, pleading and trying to refocus the narrative as well. So let's listen in to what she had to say.
The truth is, there is no evidence to suggest or to prove that Jador is willingly missing, that she is safe, or even that she is alive at this point. We have had no confirmed sightings, no communication, and no way of knowing she is okay. There is no visible belongings missing from our home that would indicate she left on her own or intended to leave for this long. So the beliefs and opinions being published and shared as facts are not only false, but they are extremely damaging to bringing her home soon and safely. If the community is under the impression that Jador is simply frolicking about the island, not wanting to be found, then that puts people at ease. And when people are at ease, they stop looking. It isn't urgent to them. They stop paying attention. That mindset is dangerous. If I'm honest, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in the community. I'm disappointed in the police service and in the government. I should not have to stand up here and beg for more resources. I shouldn't have to beg for trained personnel to intervene. This is not normal for a 15-year-old child to just be gone for nearly a month at this point, 26 days.
First off, I think I speak for many in the community, if not all, I hope all. But I think we all want to see this young lady found safely as soon as possible. Yeah, I think that's it. But I did ask a question. I asked quite a few people, why does the community seem less interested? And I could be wrong. It just does seem, I don't know why, it seems the community is less interested in this missing case. I don't know why I feel that way.
It's not unnatural, not unnormal for you to feel that way, Jamal, in these cases, especially when right now we've been getting many reports. I think that's something that's been, coming to me whenever I talk about Jador in my group chats or my friends, like, did you know that she's still missing and things like that? And a lot of them like, I didn't even know she was still missing because there's been so many missing teens. And then they post the teen located, poster. And so some people might get it confused as to, who's been located, unless they actually read, the caption that goes along with it that the police typically put out. But I think that's also been a narrative as well that like people aren't even aware, maybe because we're not reporting it enough. And I know I take it upon myself, like even when Chevelle was missing and now Jador is missing, and I'm just like trying to put it into each and every one of my news breaks, whether it be on the radio, whether it be here, because it gets a little confusing when you see missing teen located, missing teen located, and then because it's been happening so much right now on the island. But no, Jador is still missing, and police are also pleading that even if you think that you might see her, don't take it to your group chats, but call the police immediately. Say, I think I saw her in this location, and help them like build on this investigation and trying to find her. So that's been the reports right now.
Yeah. Unfortunate
indeed. All right, so the opposition is pushing back on the government's new affordable Bermuda agenda. So let's hear what the OBA had to say.
The OBA's Michael Fahey called the document glossy and light on long-term solutions, arguing it's style over substance. He frames the agenda as a short-term discount with unanswered questions and urges structural fixes. He also shared how the OBA would have approached the situation, stating that they would have preference for structural measures, including targeted electricity relief for low-income households, planning law changes to allow lower-cost building materials, subsidized shipping, and population growth strategies. For those wanting to read the full Affordable Bermuda agenda, they can visit costofliving.bm.
I appreciate that Michael Fay actually said what the OBA would have done. I do, because sometimes they just be like criticizing the other side without saying, well, what would you have? This is what we would have done, So I think that's worth 2 points.
There are like elements within the affordable agenda, though, stating like things that they want to do that had to do with, electricity and, affordability in different areas. But I think what they're pushing right now is what they can only do based on the agreements that they have with different corporations at this present time. Like that's kind of the energy that I got from it, from reading the agenda and hearing the comments. But yes, there is still pushback on, we can do more, like in that sense of making Bermuda more affordable. All right, switching it over, let's talk about some sports right now, because it's actually quite big news, like globally. But let's lead into the appointment of John Baird as the chef de mission for Team Bermuda at the CAC Games that are happening in 2026. Let's go.
This marks his third appointment to the prestigious leadership role, having previously served as chef de mission for Team Bermuda at the 2018 and 2022 CAC Games. His proven track record and understanding of complexities involved in leading a diverse sport delegation makes him the ideal choice to guide Bermuda's athletes at these games. The Santo Domingo 2026 CAC Games represent a significant milestone as they celebrate the 100th year of the sporting event, which was held first in Mexico City in 1926. Team Bermuda will join athletes from across the Caribbean, Central America, and parts of South America in this major multi-sport event. Further announcements regarding Team Bermuda's participation, including sports and athlete selection, will be made closer to the games.
Congratulations.
Yeah, really big year, 100 years. So the athletes that actually did qualify for this will definitely be in for a treat, I'm sure, at the events.
100 years of Mrs. Oda Sherry.
Moving on, let's talk about some other sports that I'm sure everyone's probably tapped into and very excited for because, Bermuda is going to be playing Jamaica today. So I know we had our game on Friday. So let's go into a bit of a recap there as we head in for the games today.
I just wanted to trash talk Gary Moreno just once. Just once I wanted to be able to have a one-up on him over it. But
don't get me started because I wanted to have a couple of friends on Trinidad. I was so ready.
Yeah. Y'all, this is why sports is hard for me. I used to love sports when my team's done well because I was able to trash talk. I can't trash. You all know I love to trash talk, but I can't trash talk. So I'm just gonna sit in my humble abode and enjoy the sights.
As an athlete myself, I always have that one line like, "It's not over till it's over. It's not over till it's over."
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying.
Trying. All right. So for your weather today, guys, it's looking cloudy and some showers and even some chance of thunder. So no, it's not looking bright out there. Have an umbrella. Have a rain suit as well. And as we always say, please be cautious on these roads. Take it slow, take it easy. You got a high of 81 degrees as well. So a lot of humidity there, but you're looking at gusts of winds and some rain.
All right. Well, Maya, it's dessert day. Yeah, National Dessert Day. Audience, what is your favorite dessert? Maya, what is your favorite dessert?
I will say this weekend I had a pumpkin cheesecake with homemade whipped cream. It took me out. I was very impressed with that. Yeah.
Yes, this pumpkin. When I did eat cheese, I used to kill me some pumpkin cheesecake. So okay, you got pumpkin cheesecake. My favorite dessert, all of them. Coconut ice cream, almond ice cream, non-dairy all types ice cream, potato chips. That's not dessert. Oh, that's snacks. Cake, all kinds mainly. Sherbet, sorbet.
Sherbet fan over here, yeah.
Yeah. I love dessert, folks. I love pie. Charles says chocolate souffle, hands down. I don't eat direct dairy, but man, I didn't see the egg in that cake. I'm eating it. Yeah, I'm like that. So I love dessert, Maya. So since it's dessert day, it's National Dessert Day. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have some dessert for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. Yeah.
Those are the adult things that we could do now. I think about it all the time, and I'm like buying different practices. I'm like, this is my adult money now. I don't have to ask permission.
I remember, man. So I guess I'm a bit shorter than most people because I didn't like my vegetables, right? And we couldn't get dessert unless we ate our vegetables. So, you always had that napkin. So you'll slip the string beans and stuff in the napkin, and then you'll find a way to put in a pocket or get it to the trash. So that way I would secure my dessert for the night. You never did any of that?
Couldn't get away with that in Gail's house. No way. I remember my sister could not leave the table until she finished her vegetables. I remember going to bed, waking up to the bathroom and passing the table, and she was still sitting there.
Oh, wow. Man, you look, man. Hey, then you built the trust. I ate them, Mom. And she'll find them in the trash the next day. I knew you need it. I mean, it's
trust broken.
It happens. Well, you enjoy dessert day. Have yourself another piece of pumpkin cheesecake, Maya. We're going to find out what Justin's favorite dessert is, and he's going to tell us how to make sure we eat our desserts and clean so we can avoid having pests in our homes. Yeah.
All right.
All
Have
right.
a good day.
My Palacio, folks. Don't go anywhere. We've got Rosalind Famous says apple pie and ice cream. All right. Well, keep them coming, audience. Let us know. National Dessert Day. What's your favorite dessert? We're going to take a quick break. Then Justin's coming on. He's going to help us keep our homes pest-free as the seasons turn. Stick with us.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
At HSBC, how we do business in our community is as important to us as what we do for our community.
We are here at Hungry Bay with HSBC today. We're planted over 500 mangroves using 2 different methods. This work is very vital for our mangrove ecosystem and would not be possible without HSBC's generous support.
I am super happy that we have a team here of colleagues helping us replant some of the mangroves. Mangroves are critical for preserving coastal nature, and with recent hurricanes they have been taken away by waves. By replanting them, we are really helping nature be at its best.
Thank you so much for HSBC for sponsoring the Microforest Project, but by extension, the Hungry Bay Restoration Project.
Thank you to all of the charities, corporate partners, and HSBC volunteers for your commitment to our community.
SCARS stands for Saving Children and Revealing Secrets, and we are a Bermuda nonprofit organization whose mission is to reduce the risk of child sexual abuse and to be an advocate and a voice for children who've been sexually molested, as well as their affected family. New media like the Daily Hour is really important in partnering with organizations like SCARS. It's another platform for us for awareness. There can be no radio silence as it relates to child sexual abuse, and we need as many initiatives as we can get. We need to keep this message alive. In terms of us and the work that we do, live engagement is good because it allows the audience to ask questions, to make comments, even to provide us with encouragement and support. What I love about the live engagement when SCARS is being interviewed by Jamel is just this feeling of safety, this feeling that he gets it. He cares about children. It's a connection.
Welcome back to the Big Show. Jamel Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour, brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we're able to pump through the radio areas with these most important community conversations. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Folks, do us a favor. Whatever platform you may be streaming on, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, Instagram, take this moment. It costs you nothing to give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Help us beat the algorithm so that as many people as you know have access to these most important community conversations as possible. All right. We've got dessert day. We've got James Burgess says Klondike bars, and on Instagram, we've got Mosaic by Unique. One Unique _ perspective says traditional apple pie. Traditional apple pie. All right. Without further ado, let's bring in our very special guest today. We've got Justin Tavares with Bermuda Pest Control, and he's going to be helping us solve our pest problems. Let's give him a warm TDH welcome. Justin, welcome.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you, sir?
I can't complain. One day at a time.
That's what we love to hear. Well, first off, thanks for coming back. And I got to ask you, it's National Dessert Day. What's your favorite dessert? Come on, Justin, give it to us.
All right. So I was thinking about this during the break, and like you were saying, I love all desserts. I've always had a sweet tooth. That's always been a thing.
All right.
But I would say if I had to pick one, to me, nothing beats middle of summer, Harbor Nights, going down Front Street and picking up a nice warm malasadish.
Okay. Okay. He knows a good dessert, folks. He said warm. Man,
Oh, yeah. Got to get them fresh.
gotta get him. You just put some calories on me now, man. Well, Justin, thank you so much for coming back, man. Before we jump into the actual conversation, just remind people a bit about who you are and what you do.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. My name is Justin Tavares. I'm the operations manager for Bermuda Pest Control, and we handle pest issues of all shapes and sizes from one end of the island to the other, or one-stop shop for anything pest related.
And audience, you want to stay tuned in because Justin's going to tell you how you can win a free stay at a local hotel a bit later. So stay tuned in, right? He's going to tell you how to help you with your pest problem, how you can win a stay at one of Bermuda's hotels. So you want to stay tuned for that. But Justin, look, I just said earlier, I used to live in Florida. So people in Florida are celebrating the cooler months coming. They're going off on the roaches. Good. We won't see you anymore, whatever. But as we know, seasons shift and new pests appear, right? They come out of hiding.
Yeah.
What kinds of critters should Bermudians be watching for as we head into the cooler months?
So Jamel, funny thing, I actually grew up in Florida, so I'm quite familiar with how the pest situation works over there. But during the wintertime, we're going to see a lot of the same pests coming outside in, because I don't know about you, but I don't like being out in the cold and the rain and the damp, which unfortunately Bermuda winters tend to be. Florida's a bit, drier. They're not seeing, daily rain and high wind and all that fun stuff that we do get here. But because we have the cold and the damp and the wind and the rain, it's going to drive some pests inside. And I'm sure across the island, people started to see that with the last hurricane that we just went through. I know myself personally, after the storm, I woke up one morning, I'm like, why is there a trail of ants in my kitchen? Like, if anybody shouldn't be having ants, you think it'd be me. But, the weather's going to drive them inwards. Thankfully, we don't have the cold weather like they do in the States. Definitely no snow. And definitely no pests like, I see stuff in pest control memes and where they've got like raccoons and squirrels and bats, and thank goodness we don't really have to deal with that so much, but rodents, especially during the winter months, like to seek shelter.
Yes. So talk to us, and audience, if you have any questions or comments for Justin, send them through. Talk to us about termites, because termites are one of those hidden threats people don't often think about or consider or notice until it's too late. What are some early warning signs homeowners should look for?
Yeah, so termites is one of those pests that you don't really think about them unless you're seeing them. And in the wintertime, they're not swarming. Summertime is swarm season. That's when you're flying around. And a lot of people think after the season's over, oh, okay, they're dormant. They've gone to hibernation. They've slowed down. Because as cold as it can get inside the house with your AC cranking, as cold as it can get outside when the weather changes, it's always nice and toasty inside the wood that they're in. They're constantly chewing. Early detection signs, if it's in the summertime, you're gonna if the infestation has reached that point, you're gonna see swarmers, you're gonna see the winged ones, you're gonna find those wings, those bodies around the house. When it's not swarm season, things to look out for are the termite frass or termite droppings, which a lot of people think are termite eggs. These little tiny, almost like grains of sand. Interestingly enough, when you put them under a microscope, they are shaped like an octagon. Like they have like flat sides. But you're going to see that. And that could be in furniture, that could be in cabinets, that could be in roof spaces. You're also going to be seeing some kick-out holes, which are, as the name would imply, tiny little holes that the termites are using to push this sort of frass and droppings through.
Interesting. And I remember all of that growing up. I remember that. Audience, just want to ask you all, have you ever had to have your home fumigated, or have you had your home fumigated? Audience, yes or no? Have you had your home fumigated? I didn't realize it was such a normal thing until I actually came to the US. I didn't know. I just remember seeing when I was young, different homes had the tents on them, and learning about what that was. But it was so normal in places in the US when I came. But Justin, we spoke about this last time you came on, and some of the audience had questions. And again, audience, if you have any questions for Justin, send them through. But not everyone wants to reach straight for chemicals, right?
Yep.
So what are some simple, safe DIY practices that people can take right now to help to keep pests out of their home?
Yeah. So the biggest sort of DIY thing you can do to keep pests out of the home is exclusion. And I harp on this every time, making sure that any cracks or crevices are fixed, are filled. Again, with the hurricane that just happened, we see a lot of sort of gaps in our home's defenses get breached. I didn't realize that there was a tiny opening around one of my windows that ants could get through until I woke up and there were ants streaming through this one little hole. So, little silicone caulking or plaster, whatever it takes to get that sealed up, no longer a problem. So just staying on top of that and making sure that those gaps are, filled or taken care of. And then, of course, there's always the best practices of cleaning. If you've spilled something, wipe it up. Try not to leave food and stuff out. Interestingly enough, ants have preferences. So there'll be times that they're going after sweet stuff and times that they're going after savory stuff. So I've seen them pass up, spilled sugar on a countertop and going after, someone had a pan with some bacon grease in it and they're going after the bacon grease rather than the sugar. And so just making sure that we're staying on top of all of that sort of thing is key to, not giving them a reason to come in the first place.
Well, question, because there's these things that are promoted now. You plug them in and you put like light blue light on them and you plug them into, and it draws the insects or creatures to that. Is this something that Bermuda Pest Control would recommend in the short term if you failed to keep them out?
So the light traps are very specific towards certain insects. So insects see a much broader span of colors than we do. They have compound eyes, so it's a lot more complicated than what we have. So different light colors attract or repel insects. Light traps are definitely something that we've seen used. It's something that we've recommended to our clients in the past. It all depends on the type of pest you're seeing. Some of the blue light traps are going to be great for like flies, for example. Love a good blue light trap. But flies are also a sanitation thing more than regular pest control thing. So it's sort of the toss up of if that's the best method. It depends.
This is always so interesting. And audience, again, if you have any questions, I did ask if anyone has had their home fumigated. James Burgess says no because I'm in Senior's apartment. Let's transition because I want to know. Okay, so you've been unsuccessful keeping pests out of your space.
Yep,
they're in. At what point should someone pick up the phone and say, I'm calling Bermuda Pest Control because I can't get rid of this problem on my own?
So in the pest control world, we have what's known as your pest threshold, which is how much is too much. For some people, they see a single cockroach and okay, that's it. I'm moving out. I'm burning the house down. Like I'm never coming back. And for some people, like it's not that big a deal. One roach is not, a huge red flag. It's not an emergency. It all depends on your level of comfort. If you're at a point where you feel like it is too much, then call the professionals. Even if it's not to get a service, even if it's just to get an advice, even if it's just to say, I've tried this, this, and this. Doesn't seem to be working. I've got issues here, here, and here. Like, what do you recommend? We're always happy to answer these questions and, work with you in what you're most comfortable for. So we don't even like to jump straight to, chemicals or heavy duty stuff. We will try to, work with people to help with whether it's behavioral or cultural or mechanical changes that are going to sort of limit the pest exposure.
I think the biggest takeaway from today is really for homeowners and tenants to make sure that there's no small cracks and there's damp areas. Like really watch out for those, because at the end of the day, these creatures are no different from us. Like as the weather cools down, we're gravitating inside. Like we're coming inside. But beyond just getting rid of bugs, why is regular pest prevention such an important part of maintaining a healthy home and protecting your property?
So great question. Various pests can cause various harm. For example, cockroaches, their droppings and what they basically shed off their bodies, roach dust, as we call it, can cause allergic reactions. I found out, I did an allergy test a couple years ago, and it turns out I'm allergic to cockroaches, which I don't know how that happened, but motivates me even more to just get rid of as many as I can. So some people are allergic to the sort of pest dander. If we're talking, rodents can cause harm to a number of things. I've seen rats chew through a car battery, through electrical wiring. Again, they're rat and mouse droppings and urine. That's not sanitary. That's not helpful. That is a health risk. And again, rats and mice bring with them fleas because they're nice, soft, warm-bodied creatures. Fleas love to go for that. So that's another possible thing. Pest proofing against birds, because during the spring and summer times when birds are nesting, sometimes they get into the roof, sometimes they get into the eaves and the rafters, and they can bring with them bird mites, which are tiny little insects that like to bite. So keeping pests out is not just a comfort, I think they're gross issue. It's also very much a health issue.
And I hope people really take to heart what you just said. It's more than just feeling grossed out by seeing that roach, but the impact they can have on our health beyond us feeling, the heebie-jeebies or the crawlies or whatever feeling you get when you see an insect. Let's talk about the promotion that we have coming up. So tell people they can win a hotel stay if they do what, Justin?
So I don't know if I would say win. So we're actually offering this promotion to anyone that wants it. So as I was saying before, it's getting into the cooler months. Termites aren't swarming anymore, but they are still chewing up roofs. They're still chewing up wood. So we tend to see in the winter months, out of sight, out of mind, people aren't thinking about it. But that's why for the next few months up until the end of the year, if anyone would like to book their fumigation, we are offering a complimentary night stay at Grotto Bay for the duration of the fumigation.
Man, I don't know about you all, but that sounds pretty good to me. One of my favorite hotels down there. And while you're there, you could probably get a little treatment down in the cave, right? But
exactly.
So book now between now and the end of December, the end of 2025, and you will, while your home is being fumigated, you will get a free accommodation at Grotto Bay Hotel.
Absolutely.
That sounds like it. Before you head out, Justin, what would you say to people who, they just accept, insects, roaches, that's a part of the home. What would you say to them as far as why they should reach out or take action with the pest problem?
Yeah. So for a lot of people, it can be overwhelming. And yeah, sometimes it does feel like, it's Bermuda, the pests come with the territory. But like I said, it's not always a pest control issue. A lot of times it is a health issue. So if not for you, for your loved ones, I strongly recommend taking those steps to prevent pests from getting in. And if they've gotten in, if you're dealing with pests, give us a call, send us an email. We're happy to help, even if it's not us going out and doing a survey, if it's us just offering advice. I think everyone should be able to live in a pest-free home, and we're happy to help with that.
Indeed. Well, Justin, thank you so much. James Burgess says, I keep a bug spray around. And he also says, sometimes you have to do it yourself to keep them under control. Yeah. Thank you so much. Justin, just remind people how they can reach out to Bermuda Pest Control should they be interested in, getting some feedback and, your services before the end of the year.
Sure. So you can call our office 232-7378 or BDAPEST. You can email us info@pestcontrol.bm, or if you want to stop by, give us a visit. We're located at 15 10 Pin Crescent in Warwick. We're just behind the bowling alley next to the laundromat. And also I'd encourage people to check out our new website, pestcontrol.bm. We just revamped the site. It's got DIY tips. It's got recommendations. It's got explanations for how and why we do pest control. And all of our contact info is also on there. You can also connect with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever tickles your fancy.
Justin, thank you for another amazing and engaging conversation. Until next time, keep us posted. And folks, don't forget, reach out, get your fumigation between now and the end of the year for a chance to, get a free accommodation at Grotto Bay while it's taking place. Justin, we'll talk to you soon. Have a wonderful day, sir.
You as well.
All right, Justin Tavares, folks, if you appreciated that conversation and you're streaming with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Instagram, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and we will give you the daily play and we'll wrap it up. Stick with us.
Considering the increasing challenges faced by financial institutions, the need for insurance protection is a critical component of the risk management framework. At Friesenbrook, our priority is to safeguard your assets with the most optimal, cost-effective risk management cover to help protect your business, whether it be cyber, directors and officer liability, professional indemnity, or property insurance. Call us on 296-3600 to learn more about our full suite of competitive corporate insurance products. At Friesenbrook, we provide insurance you can count on.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda business starts here.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Nova's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
PALS is a cancer care charity. We started 45 years ago. What started as a charity with a half-time nurse, and basically just assisting patients going home from the hospital, but patients dying at home. We now, 45 years later, have 6 nurses, a social worker, and a palliative care physician. I know a lot of people that watch the Daily Hour every day, so it's just educational. It helps you know more about specific charities or specific organizations, and kind of get the nitty gritty as opposed to just seeing a flyer on social media or just hearing or seeing a commercial. I think it's more beneficial. Like if I'm on the radio or on TV, I'm just like telling you what I think you want to know. But you might have specific questions that I can answer directly. I think it's much better having the live engagement.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Justin Tavares and Bermuda Pest Control. Very informative conversation, folks. You know what to do to keep the pest out. Looking forward to many more conversations with Justin and the folks at Bermuda Pest Control. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and the big HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we're able to pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations on Hot 107.5. Folks, if you haven't already and you're streaming with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Instagram, do us a huge favor. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure that you share these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues. It is time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, it's a remember when. Remember when. All right, it's U.S. related. I told you that. Which U.S. president resigned after the infamous Watergate scandal? All right, Renee Simmons said it first. Nixon, President Nixon. Zena Trott also got it. President Nixon. Jewel Leaves said Richard Nixon. Stacey Ann Brown, Nixon. Michelle Dawes, Nixon. Okay, everyone pretty much had it today. Everyone that participated had it. That is the answer, President Richard Nixon. All right, folks. Well, let's wrap it up. First off, regarding the discussion about what concerns us most, some of the top issues in Bermuda, I'll say this much. There are so many different issues that are impacting how we live and our lives in Bermuda. We will order them based on what stages we're at in our lives. But what I want people to feel encouraged by is the role that they can play in fixing the problems. Fortunately or unfortunately, no one's coming to save us. And all of us have something of value that we can bring to the table to fix whatever it is that concerns you in our island. It's really about finding out what that is if we don't know and having the courage to act on what we do know. As far as the conversation with Justin, always appreciate when our partners come on and try to help Bermudians live better and live safer. I didn't realize how much safer we are living by keeping pests outside of our homes. But folks, you know what to do. Reach out to Bermuda Pest Control. He gave you some DIY tips. After a hurricane, find out if you have any cracks, any spaces that's letting creatures in. Take advantage if you're able. Get some free accommodation at Grotto Bay. And let them fumigate for you, especially with Christmas coming up. Because I'm telling you, if I'm coming to your house and I'm eating, I'm going to see nobody who's not a human being eating at the table with me. Yeah, I said it just like that. Only want to see food and humans at the table. All right. Sorry, Bella. Sorry. All right, folks. Got to give you some daily inspiration. Let me go into the book and get you something. All right. What we landing on? The pages keep turning on me, folks. Duke Ellington. Yeah. I like this. Duke Ellington was a famous jazz pianist. And here's the quote by Duke Ellington. Quote, "You've got to find a way. Yeah, you've got to find some way of saying it without saying it." End quote. You've got to find some way of saying it without saying it. I like that. Pretty deep. Pretty deep. All right, folks, got to let you go. Don't forget, we'll be back tomorrow. Got another special guest coming up. We're going to be talking about the Ashay program. But in the meantime, if you haven't already, whatever platform you're streaming on, give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, family, colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.